Hey YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Thanks for joining me for another housing crisis talk discussion slash what's going on. Let's do a recap of what's happening all over the English-speaking world. I want to thank everyone that joined me for trends in the housing market last night. I got up to 40 people viewing me on my backup channel. My main channel will be back up live April 2019. So I look forward to it, unless they find some video somewhere they don't like from 5 years ago, and then just bring it down again. But hopefully everything goes smooth. So I'm going to try and keep the channel as PG and coded. We gotta talk in code, ancient Navajo codes, so no one knows what we're talking about. Anyways, thanks for joining me in Trends in the Housing Market. Link below to my backup channel if you want to join, and add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980, MikeMartins 1980. Send me a one-liner, where you are, where you're at. I get people messaging me from Dublin, from Belfast, from Edinburgh, from Auckland, from Welland, Sydney, Melbourne, Tasmania, Hobart there, California, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Florida, Vancouver, Toronto, Calgary. So if you want to jump on the bandwagon and be on the show, please do so. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear what's happening in your neck of the woods. Just add me on Skype and send me a one-liner. Okay, guys. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? We need to start with Vancouver, and we'll work our way around the globe. So I got no sheets. No, I'm not no teleprompter. I just speak of what I know and what's going on and what I've been told on the ground from all my sources. So let's kick off Vancouver. This was the bombshell last night on Trends in the Housing Market. Bombshell story. Here goes. I was so excited when I read this last night. I'm not excited, but it was just a bombshell. Here goes, guys. Ready? Half of homeowners in Vancouver have filed the vacant home properties. So now it's mandatory in Vancouver to file a report if you have a vacant property. Half of homeowners in Vancouver have filed. 98,866 applications have been sent to the government of Vancouver for a vacant homes, so they could be taxed for vacant home tax. 98,000 empty homes. Half of homeowners. So what they're trying to say is half the city is empty, or half the city is foreign invested owned and it's empty. That's why people like myself left the city of Vancouver. We were sick and tired of these overinflated prices. Empty shell of a city. The city's become an empty shell. There's nobody around. It's become a ghost town. A lot of places and bars in the downtown areas have been closed, just like in Sydney. I made a video called Sydney is a SHI hole. And yes, that's what's happened. That was the bombshell of the story in Vancouver. Prices down right now from 2018, 2017, 2018, prices are down. Still going down in condos. I think it's 11.9%. Or 11.9% in the detached market. And the condo market is still somewhat but it's still gone down anywhere from 6 to 8% depending on what hood you're in or what area you're in. If you're in West Vancouver, Vancouver, North Van, depending where you are. Burnaby areas too have been hit. So pricing is going down. Why? Because no one could secure the financing. With the stress testing here in Canada now, it's making it harder for people to secure financing. And with a lot of people who are business for self, you can't use stated income anymore. So there's a lot of things going on in the city of Vancouver. But I think the damage is already done. A lot of people have left. I have left. I had another gentleman in my store about an hour ago that watches my channel. And he moved here to Merritt from Vancouver. Then I had another friend that's been on the show before. He moved here from Vancouver and went to my old store. I don't know if you remember him from my channel. I had him on before. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited that things are coming. They're just coming to an end. Things are coming. And now with the stress testing, and I have a feeling that banks in Canada might lower interest rates to create these teaser loans. That's very dangerous, because we are headed for a perfect storm right now when it comes to everything is just coming together perfectly. And in Vancouver right now, the medium detached house is still over $1 million, and the average one-bedroom condo is still in and around $400,000 to $600,000 for a one-bedroom. And let's head over to Calgary. Calgary right now, with the massive job losses on the oil and the pipeline, A lot of people are unemployed, and housing is taking a dive right now. And Edmonton and Calgary is seeing signs of decline. Um, Quebec, Montreal is starting to see signs of cooling off. A lot of foreign investors went up there to buy property, and now they're starting to realize, or I don't know if it's the season, but it's cooled down drastically. Toronto, GTA, seeing huge declines, lots of foreclosures in Toronto. We had Steve the Plumber on the show last night that was giving us a little bit of insight on the amount of foreclosures he's been working on with his company and making sure the property is secured for the bank and banks. So he's doing 5 to 7 foreclosures a week, and he said to calendar date to today, it's about 28 foreclosures so far this year they've done. And that's becoming a big problem where a lot of people are foreclosing on homes. A lot of the homes they're foreclosing on are empty. There's nobody living in them for years. So they were a lot of investment homes that people, I guess, walked away from. And there's a couple of teary-eyed families that are being sent away and on the sidewalks and stuff. And it's sad. And it's very, very, and a lot of it, like, the great blame game, who are we going to blame for this, right? Okay, that's Toronto, and that's the problem there in the GTA there. And then now a lot of pre-builts going up there right now. I'm scared about the pre-builts right now because a lot of people are walking away from deposits now in Toronto and the GTA. Let's go south to Seattle. Seattle prices plunge another 4.5% from the last 12 months. Seattle housing prices spiked after 2017-ish, 2017-ish when Vancouver introduced the foreign buyers tax. Half the people went to Seattle and the other half the people went to Toronto, investors. So Seattle now is starting to take a big decline. All Seattle's doing is they're not putting a foreign buyers tax, they're not doing a stress test, they're not doing any of that crap. You know what the state of Washington passed? You have to declare where you got your money from. Before, you could come in here from China, like into Seattle from China with $5 million in cash in a duffel bag. They have asked no questions. But now in the Washington state, they have to ask you to declare where your money came from. And you don't play around with the U.S. If you lie to them, they'll take your money away. They don't care. So that's one. So that's one. So that's actually held back on a lot of foreign investing in the Washington state. Oregon right now is seeing declines of 5%. Right now, 4.5 to 5% to 398,000 for the detached family home. It was tipping at 407,000 in September of last year of 2018. Oregon homes tipped just a bit to 407, and that's when everyone just started leaving to Arizona and Nevada. California, San Francisco, more and more homes coming on the market. San Francisco right now, if you look it up, it's got the highest record right now of homes on the market, like listed, than in the longest time. So prices are still high in San Francisco, but there's lots more coming on the market to sell. Okay, we go down to San Diego. San Diego down another 4.3%. And if you go back up to San Jose, prices are seeming a little bit steady. Move into the eastern, a little bit further east in the U.S. Arizona seeing spikes from the migration from California. 6 million Californians left California in the last 6 years. That's a lot. And they've headed east. So states like Nevada has been having a lot of problems in Reno, where rents have doubled and tripled, and people have been doing, landlords that have had tenants for 10 years are doing rent evictions, where they're like, oh, we gotta renovate the property, so we have to let you go. All they do is put a little bit of paint on the wall, and they get someone in from California or another state to pay more money for rent, because they're already paying more in California. So, I mean, paying half of what they paid in California and Nevada from like $1,200 or $1,300 a month to paying $800, they're very comfortable, right? So, yeah, and Salt Lake City, Utah is seeing huge gains, and now they're actually looking to make more condensed housing instead of building detached homes and stuff. They're getting in that business and collecting strata fees, which is a pure mafia. And Texas, a lot of problems in the southern border of Texas with the amount of migration coming in from the south of Mexico. Very hard to house. They're averaging anywhere from 1 to 5,000 people a week in the southern Texas border, coming in like East Texas, not towards California side, more towards the Gulf side. And that was another story I brought up in Trends in the Housing Market, and that's affecting the housing market in the south of Texas there. So let's head off now to the UK. Ireland, 10,500 people sleeping rough. 2,980 are children. Ireland has now vicious protests going on now for 2 months, back and forth outside the Parliament buildings to fight for. People don't want affordable housing. People want fair housing. People want housing to be fair. People want that if you're working 2 jobs, you shouldn't be couch surfing because you can't afford anything. You know, a lot of employers in Dublin that I have spoken to personally have told me that they're having a hard time finding fresh talent out of the colleges because the people that get out of the college can't afford the first and last month and damage deposit on their apartment they want to move into. Lots of vacant spaces too, owned by foreign investors in Dublin. Lots of empty homes in Dublin. Right now, foreign investor owned. And if we go up to Belfast, Belfast is spiking right now. Housing prices are going through the roof in Belfast, in Northern Ireland. Lots of people from Southern Ireland moving north for affordability reasons. Scotland, Edinburgh right now is going up right now, slightly going up, seeing record numbers than they have never seen before. Quarter over quarter, they're seeing anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5% increases in housing and detached housings in Scotland. Now let's move down to... I kind of want to touch back on London again. They're having a lot of squatting problems where people go shopping or they go somewhere and then someone's living in their home. There was an article the other day where someone went on vacation and they came back and someone was squatting in their home, and then they have squatter rights, so they have to go through all this paperwork and months, and the family actually had to stay in a homeless shelter because they had nowhere to stay because someone was squatting in their house. And how do you go on vacation nowadays? You know what I'm saying? And London is also facing the big problem with Airbnb, where they're looking at 4,700 units in the London area that are being rented out to Airbnb, and it's taking a toll on renting for renters. Now, let's head over to New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand. Phil Tyford has announced more affordable housing going up on the hill. And right now in Auckland, they're looking at... They actually passed a bill actually in New Zealand as a whole for foreign buyers, and there's a few stipulations in there to make it harder for foreign buyers to invest in New Zealand. Well, it should be like that. If I go to New Zealand, I'm like, what do you want to? Well, are you from New Zealand? I'll be like, no, but why do you want to buy a house in our country for? Like, if I wanted to buy a house in New Zealand, I shouldn't be able to just walk into New Zealand and buy a house. It's not my country. They should have the right to deny me. I walk in there, they say, I don't care who you are or if you have a YouTube channel, who cares about you? You're not buying a house here in our country. That's it. I happened to be in Mexico twice when I went to go buy property in Mexico. They look at me, you're a foreigner. You can't buy in Mexico. What the hell are you doing? And I have lawyers there, and they're like, no, Mike. These expats and these people that own in Mexico, tell them to read their fine prints. They never own. And if they pass away, the government takes it. They can't leave it for family in a will. You know what I'm saying? And if you're married to a Mexican and you divorce, the Mexican woman, for example, she gets the property automatically. So there's a lot of things happening. So a lot of people think, they're safe in these other safe haven Latino countries. You got to watch and read the fine print because they want you to spend your hard-earned dollars there because they just turn around and take it away from you. New Zealand is doing the same thing. They don't want foreign people. They don't want foreigners buying. I go to New Zealand. I shouldn't be able to buy anything there. Period. All right, and what else is happening in New Zealand? Yes, Airbnb is taking a toll now in Auckland, and parts of Christchurch and southern parts of the islands are also taking a toll. Black mold is I don't know if it's a scam or if it's real. Black mold has become a problem there. Meth testing homes has been a problem there with contaminated meth tested homes, and there's been a lot of controversy in the scam that's been going on where houses were tested positive for meth use contamination, and when there was no meth testing. The results came back negative. Okay, let's move down to Australia. Oh my God, Australia. Now they want to lower interest rates. They want to slash interest rates. They want these bullcrap teaser loans. Watch out for the teaser loans, guys. They're also looking at interest-only mortgages now. Now, here's the bombshell of Australia. Interest-only mortgages. We're in 2019, January. They're going to come to term by mid 2019. It's going to come to term. So what are they going to do? Especially if their property is worth less than what they bought it for? How are they going to refinance a house that's worth less? They're going to have to find financing somewhere else. A lot of them are going to go to shadow lenders or secondary or B mortgages and pay more and pay through the nose. So this is a big problem right now in Australia with a lot of the interest-only mortgages coming to fruition, and I see it becoming a big disaster down there, and that's when the big nail is going to hit the coffin. And also, them slashing interest rates is going to become a disaster on their dollar. You're going to see inflation start to spike, and you're going to start to see assets, food and gasoline and day-to-day living get more expensive in Australia. They're having this mass migration, inter-migration problem within their own country, where people are leaving the major cities. Like I left my major city of Vancouver and moved to Merritt, a small town living, and I've cut my cost of living by like 70-80%. Cheaper car insurance, cheaper everything. Now, Australia, with them slashing interest rates and putting more interest-only mortgages. And they're doing this at a time when the Royal Commission, at the highest level of banking, or the auditors of the banking system of Australia, is going around sniffing around the banks. They're sniffing around the banks, they're looking around, they're trying to see what's going on. They're finding all kinds of crap. All these banks, shame on you. Screwing over customers, giving customers products they'll never use from your bank and charging them tens of thousands, slipping crap into mortgages. Oh, you're going to get this? Yeah, we're going to give you this home and auto. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you this extra stuff in your mortgage. And then you end up paying an extra $17,000 in crap that you don't need. And, oh, I'm young. I could still pay this back. No, you're a slave. Now the houses are worth less than what you bought them for, especially if you bought anywhere from 2015 and up. You're screwed. You're screwed. If you're living in Australia and you bought it the wrong time. A lot of people, now, oh, you know, it's the season to buy. It's spring. Now it's summer in Australia. Nobody's buying. Why? Because they can't secure financing with the stress testing. They can't secure financing. Same thing's happening in Vancouver. If you can't secure the financing, you can't buy the property. If you can't buy the property, the middle class, basically, there's no movement anymore in the middle class. With the lack of rich investors coming in and the capital flows from China cut in half or cut by 90%, you can only take out $5,000 a year. It's not going to work. So what are they going to do? They're going to come up with these teaser loans to get their people again. It's like a bad cell phone plan. A bad cell phone plan. You get this bill in the mail for $600. What's this? Oh, we'll fix the bill for you. We have this and this and that. So you pay this $600. And then they get you again and say, oh, by the way, you should have told us about this. This is what they're doing with the mortgages in Australia. First, everyone's hit that's in the market right now. They're hit. They're losing value on their homes. And then what's happening? Oh, yeah, we got these teaser loans. We got this. And then they get you again. So I'm telling you guys, read the fine print. Make sure you do your own research. Make sure you understand what's going on. Make sure you put pen to paper. You look up the websites. You do your own mortgage calculator. You do your own TDS service ratios. And now, I'm not going to cater anymore to people buying into the market or going to buy in the market. I have to cater to people now that own. What are they going to do? The Australian helpline had to hire 13 more people. Because the amount of people calling in, they're flooded with calls. With people threatening suicide, this, that. It's bad. What are people going to do? People will be able to buy in the next, I don't know, maybe 6 to 12 months. But the people that own on a sinking ship, that's the problem now. What are they going to do with the amount of foreclosures? Amount of foreclosures that are being hush-hush by the mainstream dinosaur media. Hush, hush. That's why they want to take channels down like mine. Because I'm just talking. You know? So if you're in the English-speaking world and you want to add me to Skype, it's Mike Martins, 1980. Mike, M-I-K-E-M-A-R-T-I-N-S, 1980. Add me to Skype. Send me a one-liner where you're at. I want to have you on the show. Hey, Mike, there's all these pre-builts coming. Oh, yeah. Oh, Opal Tower. Opal Tower in Australia fracturing this, that. Now which engineer sign off on what? This is fracturing. This is breaking. What the heck is going on? Here we go, guys. Opal Tower. Big problem. Look it up. I'll leave a video at the end of this. Right now, you should be seeing the video around you for the Opal Towers. What's happening? If it's shoddy manufacturing, is it shoddy work? Is it shoddy craftsmanship? Is it bad material? Was it rushed? Who signed off on all this stuff? What's going on? People are losing their homes. What's the resale value on those damn units right now at the Opal Towers in the Olympic Village in Sydney? Anyways, guys, links around. Guys, don't forget to add me on Skype and join me for Trends in the Housing Market. Link below in the comments for my backup channel to watch live. Thanks for watching.